Yeah. Hello everyone. Good morning. Myself Mullidhar Reddy. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. Now we are going to discussing about Jenkins dashboard overview. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So this is our jenkins.techworldwithmurali.in. Here you have to remember in the real time also, we always accessing using DNS name only, not the public IP colon port number or private IP colon port number. We won't be using. Be careful. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to log into the Jenkins. For that one, this is my username, and here I'm mentioning that my password as well. Okay. Now, if you see here, I'm able to log into the Jenkins. Now here in the right side, right here you can see that first here you can see the alarm level. Here it will be display what are the things which plugin you wanted to upgrade, and also here we can see that what is the exact version. Okay, everything you can able to see it here. If you see here, you are running Jenkins on Amazon Linux 2. Jenkins stopped supporting Amazon Linux 2 as 2023 only. So you have to be check it, and then you have to be do the modification depends on our requirement. Okay, and then here you can see that red color. Here you can see that it will be showcased like if you want to be set up anything, here it is display as well. Okay, if you see here, building on the built-in node can be security issue. So you need to set up that particular agent to run the particular jobs in the different worker nodes. I mean, what you can slave nodes. And here we can see that this is our user. And here you can see that this is our user ID. And if you want to see that our user under, is there any builds was running? Okay, here we can see that. And also my views. Here we can see that if you want to view it. And here, if you want to be create any job also, he can come here and you can create. And also here we can see that build queue. If we have any build jobs are running right, here it will be displayed under build executor status. By default, remember in the Jenkins, at a time we can run 2 jobs. If you're running more than 2 jobs, right, remaining jobs will be showing the pending state. Okay, clear. Now you can go here. If you want to be create any new item, job, project, both are same only. If you want, you can come here and you can give that item name. And then here you can select whether you want to be create the freestyle pipeline or folder. You can create this particular job as well. Later sometime I will show you how do we create as well. Okay, fine. Next one, here you can go to that account, and here if you want to be change your name, it can come here. If you want to be change your description as well. Okay, and also if you want to change your mail ID, you can come here and do that. And one more thing, usually if you want to be change this timestamp as well, time zone as well, we can do that. Default it is UTC format only. If you want, you can change it whatever. Okay, depends on your country. You can select and you can change it here. Okay, fine. Now you can go here, and the next one, appearance. Here, if you want to be change anything, example, the particular template, currently it is showing here. If you want to keep it in the dark, you can come here and you can change it. Depends on your comfortable, this particular theme, right? You can select and you can do that. But in our case, default is fine because you can able to see it clearly. Okay, now you can apply, save it. Okay, super. Now you can go here, preferences, and here if you here you can select that case sensitive. When you are searching, right, whether you want to be that particular setting for search is case sensitive or not, you can select here. And then you can go to the security. Here if you want to be generate any token under your username with your user, under your user, if you want to be create an API token for integrating with anywhere, you can select here current token, right? Just add new token, and here you can give it, and then just generate. It will be generate the token as well. Okay, here also it will be display that when it was. If you're not mentioning any name, it will be displayed here. Okay, now you can copy this one and you can keep it. Okay, once you refresh this page, right, you can't see this particular token again. So that's why please store it somewhere carefully. And if you want to be change your password, you can also do that one. And the session termination, right? Let's take example with your username different locations we have logged in. Here it will be display. If you want to be terminate, you can terminate. It is similar to Gmail, right? Gmail also sometimes it will ask like, hey, you want me to log out all the locations, all the devices. Similar here as well. Okay, and experiments also, they are doing some experiments related to remove YUI. Okay, here our default is showing that this one only enabled only. This part is fine. And credentials here, in case if you want to be create any credentials, you can come here and you can do that. Currently we have a one user, right? The user credentials. Remember here we have a global. You can select this global, and if you want to create any global credentials, you can come here and we can create it. Either user with a password and a GitHub app, SSH username with a private key, or secret file, secret test certificate, we can. Later I will show you how do we create a username with a password. Later I will show you. Okay, clear, fine. Any questions so far? These are the dashboard related things. Any other questions? And also you can go here. Here we can see that new item. Item is nothing but job or project. Both are same only. If you want to create any item, any project, any job, you can click this one and we can create it. And also here we can see the build history. Here it will be display all the builds, how many builds was running. It is not related to only your user. It will be display all the builds last when whether it is succeed or not, everything it will be display here. Okay, and the next one, manage Jenkins. In the manage Jenkins we have multiple options available. Here we can discuss later sometime. Okay, clear, right? Fine. And my views, here we can see that it is this particular my views, it is under your user only. Okay, any questions now? Jenkins dashboard, why I have showcased the Jenkins dashboard? You wanted to understand what are the options available in the Jenkins, so that in case wherever required, right, you can easy to go there and you can check it easily. Okay, that's why I have explained. Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about exploring manage Jenkins option. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. For that one, right, I already log into the Jenkins. Okay, this is our URL. Now we can see that manage Jenkins, right? Here we can see that manage Jenkins. We can see what are the options available, where exactly we'll be using. And when you click this one, here it will be display any plugins or we need to be, and here it will be display that example in terms of operating system, also end of life monitor. Depends on this, everything it will be displayed. Okay. Now coming to the systems. Now open this particular systems and here see what are the options is available. First thing is, here we can see that the specific home directory of Jenkins. Example, in our case, we have installed Jenkins using yum command. That's why here you can see that varlib Jenkins. Sometimes you may install using direct jar file, var file, java-jar in jenkins.var, or in case if you deploy that particular Jenkins on the Tomcat, during that time the default path is .jenkins. If you want to be check it, you can come here and you can verify in the systems only. Okay, clear. And here, as I said, number of executors. It means at a time 2 builds only run it. Okay, if more than 2 builds you are running, what will happen? Remaining will be going to the pending state. Here you can see the right number of executors 2. If you want, you can mention here how many you want. Okay, default is 2 only. And the labels, if you want to be mention any label, this particular label it will be useful for when you are setting up Jenkins job. During that time, it will be expecting specific labels. But in our case, Jenkins we have installed in the server, right? We can call it as a master server. The particular master server, you don't require any, we don't require any labels, you don't require to set up anything. Okay. Next one, usage. This is the one of the most important, whether you want to be use this node as much as possible or only specific build jobs with label expressions based on this particular label, right? If you set up in the inside the Jenkins job, then only you can use this particular master node. Okay, run the Jenkins job. Remember one thing, for master, we always recommended to use this node as much as possible only. Okay, when it comes to the slave nodes, right? During that time, we always select a high level recommend to select this particular only build jobs with label expression. Okay, fine, fine. Now you can come here, and then if you want to be set up any, these are our Jenkins URL as well. Here you can see that. And if you want to be set up mail ID, system admin email address, you can set up here, or else you can ignore it. And also if you want to set up email notification, okay, here you can see that, come down, extended email notification, we can come here and we can set up. In the real time also, we'll be use that extended email notification or email notification. So we'll be come here and we can configuring inside the system only. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Fine. And coming to the tools, okay, inside the tools, right, we'll be configure that tools configuration. Example, if you want to be set up any JDK location, if you want to be set up any Git related one, and in case if you want to be set up any Gradle related one, okay, Ant related one, build to Maven related one. Example, I can show you here. Just add this particular add Maven, and here it will expecting version. Example, I'm giving Maven 3.9.9. Example I'm telling. Okay. And then here you can see that in case if you already install the Maven in this particular Jenkins server, we have run this particular Jenkins server in the EC2, right? Inside the Jenkins server, if you already install, just you can give the path here, Maven_home, and here you can give it the path. Example, /opt/Maven. Usually, right, we'll be installing the opt directory, right? If you remember, we discussed in the Maven concepts. Okay, if you are not aware, please have a look there. Okay, now just example, in case if you want to be installed automatically, now you can select install automatically, and here you can select the version. Here you have to remember, in the real time, we won't be use latest version. We always go with the specific version. Okay, example 3.6.3. We'll be go with 3.6.3, and if you want, you can save it here and save it. Remember, again, I'm repeating, for practicing purpose, if you want, you can choose the latest version also, but in the real time, the reason we won't be use the latest version, if you use the latest version, it may our application break. That's why when you are doing the build, right, during that time, it may not be support the latest version. If you want to be support the latest version, we may need to, developer may need to configure in the application, that particular pom.xml and also application level. If they want, then they may need to change the lot of things. That's why we always go with the specific version. Okay, example 3.6.3 in the real time. Okay, fine. Any questions now? Clear. Now we can go here and go to the plugins, and here we can see that what are the plugins we have. This is the one of the most important. As I said earlier, Jenkins is totally depends on plugins only. And here, if you want to be installed, if you want to be check whether it's installed or not, you can come here inside the manage Jenkins plugins option, and here we can see the updates plugin. Example, any of the plugins came for updates. Here you can see it. If you want, you can update the particular plugin. Okay, and coming to that available plugins, and here it will be display all the available plugins. Example, I can give it here, Maven integration plugin. Okay, Maven integration plugin, I can see it here. And also if you want to be see it, SonarQube scanner, if you see here, SonarQube scanner also, we can see it here. Okay, these are the available plugins. Okay, there are almost thousands of plugins available. If you want, you can come here and we can install it. Later sometime I will show you how do we install the necessary plugins, whatever we required for this particular training. Okay, clear, right? Fine. Now we can go to the install plugins, and here we can see that whatever we already installed, those plugins you can see it here. Here you may ask question, Murli, we haven't installed any plugins, but we are able to see it here. There are a lot of plugins. How? The reason, if you remember, when we installing Jenkins, during that time we selected suggest a plugin. That's why we can able to see it here, those plugins as well. Okay, clear, right? Any questions? And go to the advanced settings, and here you can see that if you want to be upload any customized plugin, if you built any customized plugin, right? If you want to be upload, you can come here and you can upload as well. Okay, but the reality, we won't require the customized plugin. Okay, we don't want to worry on that one. Okay, clear, right? Any questions? This is the one of the most important option, guys. Be careful. We should be aware of this one. Okay, and then go to the notes. Okay, And in the Jenkins, we have a master and slave node concept. Master is nothing but wherever you install the Jenkins, we can call it as a master node. Okay, clear, right? If you see here, built-in node is nothing but it is a master node where whether it is Linux or Windows, and here we can see that whether it is in sync or not, and how much size we have. Okay, everything it will be displayed. Okay, everything it will be displayed. In case if you want to be create any new node, if you want to be run your jobs in the slave node, specific slave node, you can select this new node and then you can set up here. Later part I will show you how do we set up as well. You don't want to worry on this. And also remember, not only direct node setup, and also if you want to be integrated with the cloud as well, we can integrate. Example, if you want to be integrated with AWS, and then if you want to be on demand, if you want to be launch the EC2 instance, there we need to run the Jenkins job. We can set up like that as well. Okay, this part also I will show you later sometime. Okay, any questions here? This particular nodes as well, and the clouds also I already explained. This is our cloud option only, this one. And appearance, we already saw that appearance. If you want to be change your the specific theme, you can come here and you can do that. And if you're admin, right, if you want to be don't allow user to select different theme, you can select this one as well. But the reality, we can give the option, okay, for the users. If they wanted to change that specific theme as well, they can do that one. Okay, I'm selecting the default one. Default is fine. Fine. What is the next one? Now you can come here and then go to the security. This is also one of the most important security. Here only will be defined LDAP, Active Directory, whatever will be defined here only. If you see here, security realm, okay, here default it is Jenkins own user database. When we install the Jenkins, during that time it will be select the default this one only. But in the real time, right, we'll be define that LDAP. Now you can select this LDAP and then here it will ask that server, advanced level, everything. Later I will show you how do we configure that LDAP or Active Directory with Jenkins. Instead of creating the users manually, what we can do in the Active Directory will be define the users, and the particular users we can access it. Okay, later I will show you, but temporarily I'm selecting here Jenkins user, own user database only. Okay, fine. And authorization, if you see here, we have different options. Whether logged in user can do anything. Example, I have logged in Murli user, right? I can do anything, or anyone can do anything means even they don't require to log in the particular Jenkins, they can do anything. And also if you want to be set up that metrics based security or project based, if you want, you can do as well. But in our case, just select this logged in user can do anything. Okay, later I will show you how do we integrate as well, guys. And the next one, agents. This is the one of the most important. When you integrate with the slave node, right, during that time you have to set up that TCP port for inbound agent. Remember, if they are using TCP option, then only we have to enable this particular port number. Usually in our case, we always use this particular TCP port only. And here there are two options, whether you want to be mention that fixed one or whether you want to be generate random one, you can do that. But recommended way, select the fixed one, and here you can mention your port number. This particular port number range is 1024 to 65,535. In between you can mention. Okay, 1024 to 65,535. Example I'm giving here 50,000. You can mention here 50,000. Later part I will show you this where exactly will be when we are setting the slave node, right? During that time you will get that error related one. So we'll be add the particular port here. Okay, currently I'm not saving, just I'm explaining here one by one. Okay, now what is the next one? Now you can go to the credentials. Here you can go to the credentials, and here most important, guys, in the credentials we have a credentials option, and then here we can see that global level. Now you can select here, and here you can define your credentials as well. Here this is the global level. When you create the credentials, here we have different options, whether you want to be create with username with password or only GitHub app, or if you want to be use SSH username with private key, or if you want to be set up secret file, you can upload here. If you have any secret file, right, you can upload here, and the next one secret test or certificate. We can do that. Example, you can select that username with password. Okay. And here most important thing is scope. Whether you want to be set up global level. When you set up the global level, it will be coming under Jenkins and nodes and items, all shared items, everything. Okay. On the system level, right? If you select the system level, this particular credentials, we can use it only Jenkins and nodes only. It won't be like items, jobs level, you can't. Okay. Understand, right? Always recommend global level only. And then here it is asking the username. Now here you have to give the username. Example, I'm setting up for GitHub. Just you can give it GitHub techworldwithmurali@gmail.com. Here you have to remember, in our case, practice purpose, we are giving our mail ID, but in the real time, we'll be give our service account. Instead of giving our credentials, our personal mails, right, in the real time, we always give the specific service account. Okay. Example, DevOps@techworldwithmurali.in. Okay. Fine. And here you have to mention the password. Password is nothing but instead of giving the password, you have to give the token as well. And then here we have an ID. You can give it example GitHub-credentials, and then description you have to mention here. Okay. Later I will show you how do we add it as well. Don't worry. And then credentials providers, this is also fine. Just leave it. Yeah, you can leave with this one. You don't require. And then next one, users. In case if you want to create a users, you can do that one. You may ask question, Murli, usually in the real time, we always go with Active Directory, right? Yes. In the real time, we always go with the Active Directory only. In case some organization, they may not be using that Active Directory. Then what you have to do? We have to create the user. You can come here and we have to create a username, password, and then full name, email ID you have to mention here. Okay. You have to mention here, and then you have to create the user. So you have to share the particular credentials to them so that they can access it. But the reality, again, I'm telling, in the real time, we always go with Active Directory. Very rare projects only, they will be created manually. Okay. Clear. Any questions now? Now user spot also fine. Now what is the next one? Now you can come here, system information. If you want to see the system information, you can come here and you can check it. Example, system properties, or environment variables, or plugins related, or memory usage, thread them. You can, everything you can see it here. Example, system properties, just here it is show values, it will be display everything. If you see here, everything. Environment variables, now you can click this one, here we can see that. Jenkins home directory, that is valid Jenkins only. Okay. And here language, what is that? Log name, Jenkins. Path, what is the PW, present working directory, what is the working directory. Okay. Everything can able to come here and we can see it here. Okay. Remember, this very exactly useful if you want, if you are doing any automation, right? During that time, you can use $Jenkins_home directory. If you want, you can use it there as well. Okay. Clear. Fine. Any questions now? Next one, system logs. If you want to check any system logs, you can come here and we can verify it. This is the one of the most important. You can click the all Jenkins logs. Let's take an example. You have configured that slave node. In the Jenkins, we have a slave node. Later part, we can discuss in detail. In the Jenkins slave node, you have set up, but there was some issue with the permission, some other things. That particular slave node is not launching, or not creating. Then what you have to do? You have to come to the system logs and you have to be verify here. If something happened, right, you can able to see the logs here so that you can check the logs and you can find out easily. Okay, because of this one, the particular slave node is not launching. Okay, you can use it to identify it. Okay, clear, right? Any questions? Fine. And then next one, load statistics. And here you can see that how much load we have. Everything can check it here. Depends on that online executors, busy executors, how many queue length, available executors, everything. We can see it here. If you want to see that load, you can come here and you can check it here. Okay. And then about Jenkins, and here we can see that the specific related one about Jenkins and static resources and license related one, everything you can able to see it here. What is the version we have installed? We have installed that 2.492.1. Okay. Clear, right? Any question? Fine. And then next come down. And if you want to be manage old data, you can do that. Just ignore it. We don't require. And if you want to be reload configuration from our disk, if you want, you can select this one. So now it will be ask yes or no. If you give yes, it will be reload it. This one also we won't be use it. And the next one, Jenkins CLI. If you want to be use any CLI related commands, during that time we'll be use this particular Jenkins CLI. In the reality, we won't be use this particular Jenkins CLI except when you are creating any Docker file, the particular Jenkins related Docker file. There, if you want to be install automatically specific plugins, during that time Jenkins CLI command will be used. Apart from that, we won't be use it anywhere. Okay, we always come to that Jenkins dashboard and we will be do that. And also we'll be write the Jenkins file, everything. But Jenkins file also we won't be use the Jenkins CLI commands. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Any questions now? Fine. And skip to console. And remember one thing here, whether you really worked on or not, they can ask you, hey, have you worked on Jenkins CLI? You have to tell them like, hey, we don't require much using Jenkins CLI. We always go with the Jenkins GUI only. Okay, in case if you want to be install any plugins through Jenkins CLI, we can do that. But that is also very rare cases. Okay, clear, right? Fine. And the next one is script console. If you see here, this is a script console, and here we can see that if you want to be this particular script console, it will be support that Groovy script. And here, if you want to do anything, you can come here and you can update here and you can run this particular Jenkins. Example, if you want to be disable any example CLI related, we don't want to run it, then you can come here and you can execute this one. Okay. If you want to do any automation, I mean, checking here, you can write the script and you can verify here. If you want to be disabled, whatever you want, you can come here and we can do that. This is also very rare cases we'll be using, but still you should be aware of this one. It will be support only Groovy script. Okay, clear. Now what is the next one? Come down. If you want to be shut down your Jenkins, you can select here, prepare for shutdown. When you click this one, right, it will ask that whether I want to be shut down or not. Here, if you want, you can give the reason, and then you can click the prepare for shutdown. Okay, and if you see here, it will be stop the executing new builds so that the system can be eventually shut down safely. Okay, now you can click this prepare for shutdown, and here it will displaying that the Jenkins controller is preparing for shutdown. No new builds can be started. Okay, and then later sometime it will be shut down. And if you want to be cancel it, right, now you can click this one, you can cancel this one. Okay, clear, right? These are the options. And here you have to remember, on the system we will be using, and also tools also we can use it, and the plugins will be use it, nodes will be use it, and security credentials. Remaining, right, very rare cases will be used. Remaining whatever I have explained, right, remaining will be very rare cases. Again, I'm repeating, system level, if you want to be configure any email notification, will be using. And the next one, tools, if you want to be configure any tools, example Maven, okay, Gradle, and we can come here and we can do that. And the plugins, if you want to be install any plugins, we can come here and we can install the plugins. And if you want to be set up slave node, right, either if you want to be set up standalone slave nodes, or if you want to be integrated with cloud, we'll be do that. Okay, and security, if you want to configure any AD related one, you can come here and we can do that. In the real time, we always use the AD only. Okay, and credentials, if you want to be create the credentials global level, you can come here and we can setting up the credentials as well. Remaining also you should be aware of, but we won't be using much time. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about creating a Jenkins job. Let's see the demo so that we'll get some idea. So for that one, right, we have a Jenkins URL, that is jenkins.techworldwithmurali.in. Now what we are going to do, we are going to create the Jenkins job. So, and also we can see that what are the options available inside the Jenkins job. When you are setting a real-time Jenkins job, right, during that time you'll get to know, okay, I need to set up this one, I need to set up this one. You can easy to understand. Okay, that's why. Now you can go here. Here we have a new item or job or project, three same only. In the real time, we will be call it as a, hey, can you please share the Jenkins job URL? Okay, fine. Now you can click the new item. And then here it is asking that job name, item name. Now here example, I'm giving the sample project. Okay, for understanding purpose, I'm selecting here sample project. And here we have different types. One is freestyle job. Second one is Maven project, pipeline. And also here we can see the folder as well. In the real time, we will be use either freestyle job and pipeline job only, and folder will be created. Now what we are going to do, I'm going to select the freestyle job, select this one. Now you can click this one. Now here it will be display that what are the options you need to configure inside the Jenkins. We can go with a step-by-step process. Okay, first one. If you want to be declare any description, this particular Jenkins job, that is a sample project, you can define here. Okay, so that everyone can able to understand. Second thing is here, if you see here currently it is enable, the particular Jenkins job is enabled. If you want to be disable it, you can do that one as well. Okay, fine. And the next one, discard old builds. Discard old builds means here we have a log rotation, days to keep builds. How many days we need to keep the builds, and also maximum builds to keep. How many maximum we can keep the builds. Example, if you see here, this is our Jenkins job. Example, I'm going to run this build now. Click this one. When you click this build now, here the build number is came one, right? Similar to if you click this build now, here it is coming to that build number 1, 2, 3, 4. If you are not set up this particular discard old builds, it will be keep on increasing. So if you keep on increasing, the workspace, it will be keep on increase, and then it will be take that, it will utilize the more space. That's why what we'll do in the real time, we always keep it, depends on our job. Okay, depends on our normal discussion with the team. We'll be decided, okay, I need to keep this maximum 7 days. Okay, maximum number of builds 5 only or 2 only. Example, I mentioned that days to keep builds 7 days, and the maximum number of builds is 2 only. Now what I'm going to do, just apply, save it. Now applied and save it. Now if you see here, currently we have a 2, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click the build now. Usually what we mention, number of builds we mention only 2. If you see here it is displaying 2. Previous one it is deleted. It means it will be maintained only latest 2, remaining will be deleted. Example 1, 2, 3, right? 1 is deleted because we mentioned that inside the Jenkins job, hey, I need only maximum 2 builds only. That's why it is displaying here only 2 builds. Example, I'm going to run it now. What will happen? 3, 4 will be there. 2 will be deleted automatically. If you see here, build now. Okay. If you see here, 3, 4 is there, but 2 is deleted. Okay. Now you can go to the configure. Now you can go to the configure here. And then now we can come down a little bit. Next one. Yeah, this project is parameterized one. This is also one of the most important. The reason we always go with this parameterized one, build with parameters. Here will be select that add parameters. Here it will be support that different parameters. Example, Boolean parameter, choice parameter, credentials parameter, okay, file parameter, okay, password parameter, run parameter, string parameter. We have a different, depends on use cases, we'll be using. Usually in the real time, one is Boolean, choice parameter, string parameter, we will be using more. Okay, in the string parameter example, I'm selecting here the name we are giving branch name. Okay, and then here I'm giving, if you want, you can define the default branch, example main or master branch. Okay, main or master branch. Example, you can keep it master branch. Okay, now what you can do, this particular parameter, we can call it inside this Jenkins job wherever required. Okay, we can declare dollar and the specific branch name. Okay, clear, right? Now if you see here, earlier what is happening? Here just it is showing the build now, right? When you define this one, when you define these parameters, now when you click this apply save it, now here you can see that build with parameters. Here you can see that build with parameters, branch name, whatever we mentioned, right? That one, the default value we mentioned, right? That's the default key value is master only. It is displayed. Okay, clear, right? Now you can go here. This particular one, not only branch name, environment, some other things will be always use it in the real time. Later part also I will show you in detail, build with parameters options as well. How do we, where can we call everything? Okay, fine. Now you can come here and then execute concurrent builds if necessary. If you enable this, right, what will happen? It will simultaneously, it will run the parallel, it will run the builds. Okay. If you see here, when the option is checked, it means when you enable this one, multiple builds of this project may be executed in parallel. Parallel, it will be execute this one. Okay, understand right? When you select this particular one, and then you can click the advanced one. If you want to quit period, everything you can do that. We don't require, ignore it. And the next one, source code management. This is the one of the most important. Here, you need to define your GitHub related URLs. Okay, not only GitHub, GitLab or Bitbucket also we can define here. You may ask question, Murli, here you are seeing all the options, how it is came. Every option you are able to see it here in the Jenkins job level. Everything it is already installed the plugins. That's why you are able to see it here. Okay, if you're not installed the plugins, you can't see the specific one. Okay, fine, clear, right? Any questions? Example, what I'm going to do here in the Git URL, right? Repository URL we need to mention. For that one, here we have a Jenkins 0 to Hero series repository. Just click this one and then you can copy, go to copy here, copy this one, and then here you can mention here. Okay, you need to define the URL. Now here it is throwing the error. The error is performing git command. The reason in the particular Jenkins server, wherever we install the Jenkins server, right? There we need to install the git. That's why it is throwing the error. We install the Jenkins in the EC2 server, right? The particular EC2 server I already connected. This is our Jenkins server. Now what I am going to do, install git. I'm going to install the git. Okay. Now if you see here, it is installing the git. Fine. Now later once you saved it, right? Git is installed. Okay, install the git. That is the version is 2.47. Okay, fine. Now if you go here, now if you save and apply and save it, and if you go and edit this one again, configure this one, you can't see that particular error now. Now you will see the different error. That is fine because we need to define the authentication, but you won't see that git related one. Okay. Next one, here you need to define your credentials. If you see here you need to define your credentials as well, authentication. Usually before August 13, 2021, it was supporting username with password, but currently it is not supporting username with password. We always go with username with token only. Okay, and here you need to define the credentials as well. Here if you see here, currently we don't have any credentials. Now what you have to do, we need to define the credentials. How do we do? For that one, now you can click add, and here it is asking the Jenkins, click this Jenkins, and here it is asking that whether you want to be set up in the global credentials, yes, and then kind is whether you want to be set up in the username with the password or GitHub app, SSH username with private key, whatever. But in our case, our GitHub, what is that? GitHub is username with the password, select this one. And then scope is whether it is global level or system level. Always recommended to select the global level only. Select this one, and here it is asking the username. Now I'm going to give it here username. techworldwithmurali @gmail.com. Okay. Now you can give it here. Okay, super. Now what you have to do here, you need to define the token, not the password. Remember, you have to define the token. Okay, for that one, how do we get it? You can go here, your GitHub repository. Okay, GitHub repository, and then go to your profile. Okay, go to here, and then go to that settings. Okay, and then you can come down a little bit, go to the developer settings, and then go to the personal access token. And then here you need to create it. Create a new one, generate a new one. And then here it is asking that login option. Okay, now example here I'm giving Jenkins-new. Okay, here we have a option whether your the particular token is expired, how many days, whether you want to be expired or no expiration. Okay, always recommended to expired one. Okay, in case if you lost also, it will be expired that particular token automatically. Okay, Now you can go with 7 days, that is fine. And then you can, you have to select the scope. Example, I'm selecting all the scope. Okay. Come here. I'm selecting all the things. And here, one of the most important, you have to remember, okay. In our case, just we are defining this particular username with our techworldwithmurali@gmail.com, and then token we are defining. But in the real time, we always define, remember guys, in the real time, we always define service account. Why we won't be mention our personal one? Personal one means not related to personal Gmail. Even if you are joining one of the organization, you may get your username, right? Example, murli@techworldwithmurali.in. Okay, and then we won't be give that token. The reason, in case if you left the organization, your mail IDs, everything will be blocked. So it will be impact. That's why what we will do, we will be create the service account. Service account is nothing but common user. We'll be create the common user. There will be define that one. Here also they can easy to identify whether you really worked or not in the real time. The reason, if you immediately say, hey, we will be define our in the Git configuration will be Jenkins job configuration will be define our mail ID and token. They can immediately get that idea. Okay, this person is not working in the real time. Just practice and they are trying to get the job. Okay, clear, right? Clear, right? Fine. Now here I'm giving GitHub-create. Cred is nothing but credentials. Okay, description also I'm giving here. Just give the add one. Okay. Now if you see here you need to select it. Now you are not seeing this error. Here the reason our Git our whatever, right? What is that? Our Jenkins job. Okay. Our Jenkins-0 to hero repository, it is in the private. That's why you need to define the credentials here. Okay, super. Now you can come here, and here most important, branch to build. Which branch we need to build it? In our case, we have a only main branch. We don't have any master branch. That's why it is default is master branch only. If you want, you can define here main branch or different whatever branch you can define here. Okay. Example, I have mentioned that main branch. Now you can come down. You don't require to do anything. And the next step, if you want to be trigger build remotely, you can define here. But in the real time, we won't be use it. Just leave this one. And then build after other projects are built. In case, if you have any dependency job, the particular job needs to be running. Then you have to run this particular job. Then what you can do, we will be define here that destination source branch. Example, you have another source job, not the branch, source job. Okay. Now here you need to define the particular job so that once the particular job is completed, then this particular job will be triggered. If you select this one, build after other projects are built. Understand, right? Fine. But in the real time, we won't use much. Just leave it. And also depends on condition also. Whatever source job, right? The particular source job is stable or unstable also fine, or builds fails. Always, whether it is stable, unstable, or whatever, right? Even about it, right? If you want to run this particular Jenkins job, we can select this one. Okay. But real time, we won't much use, but you should be aware of in case some interviewer maybe ask the questions, what build after other projects. Okay. Upstream, downstream, everything. And the next one, build periodically. This is the one of the most important, whether you really worked or not, where exactly they can easy to identify. Asking this question, what is the usage of build periodically? And also interview level also, it is one of the most important question. What is build periodically? In the build periodically, if you want to schedule the job, let's take example, I want to run this particular job every 5 minutes. Okay, every 5 minutes you come to the Jenkins job and trigger, right? Is it correct way? No. We always use the build periodically or POL-ACM. First, we can go with build periodically. What it will do. Example, here you need to define the cron tab. Example, I want to run every 5 minutes or every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes. Then what you have to do? You need to define the cron tab here. Here we can see that. First one is minute. This is the cron tab format. Remember guys, cron tab format. First is minutes. Minutes means 0 to 59 minutes. Sorry, 59 seconds. Hours means we have a 0 to 23 hours. And then day of month means it is 1 to 31. And month means it is 1 to 12 months only, right? That's why day of week, DOW means day of week is nothing but 0 to 7. 0 and 7s are Sunday only. Okay. Now what I have to do, I need to run every 5 minutes. Then what I can do, right? X by 5. Okay. And then star. What the meaning of this one? Every 5 minutes it will run. Remaining star means always. Okay. In case if you give it here 1 5. What I said, first one is minutes, second one is hour. It means every 1 hour 15 minutes it will run. If you see here in the February 24, 2025, 1:55 a.m. and the next one is right. Okay, it is not giving properly. Okay, next one is Tuesday. It is running. Okay, 25. If you see here, 25, 20, 25. Okay, understand right? 24 and then 25 it is running. Okay, any question? Any questions now? Fine. Now what I'm going to do, just I'm giving here star only. Fine. Every 5 minutes it will be triggered. Every 5 minutes. If you see here, now it will run the 12 and then next one is 12:05. Okay, clear. Super. Awesome. Now what is the next one? Any questions here? Okay. Here, this is, we can call it as build periodically. Here we can define our, what we can define? Schedule, cron tab. Okay. Here you have to remember when you choose the build periodically, whether the changes is there or not in the code, in the repository. Example, we took that Jenkins 0 to hero repository. This particular repository, whether the changes are available, I mean, during that particular time, whether changes are there or not doesn't matter. The job will be always triggered. When you choose the build periodically, this particular job will be always triggered. Example, I have selected this one, apply, save it. Later, I will show you. If you see here, currently we have only 3, 4. After 5 minutes, right, automatically trigger, it will come to the fifth one. Okay, fine. Now you can go here, Jenkins job. Let's see. We can see that other options so that you will get some idea. Wait for a few seconds. Now come down. Yeah. And this particular GitHub webhook, when you set up the webhook option, we need to enable this one. Later, I will show you this one. And the next one, poll ACM. Poll ACM, build periodically, both are same, guys. Only major difference, when you use the build periodically, whether the changes are there in the Git repository doesn't matter. GitHub repository doesn't matter. Always trigger. But when you use the poll ACM, even if you select that change specific time, if there is no any changes during that particular time, the Jenkins job, it won't be triggered. Understand, right? This particular Jenkins job, it won't be triggered. If there is any changes only, Jenkins job will be triggered. Otherwise, it won't be. Usually, depends on use cases. Whether you want to be run always, whether changes are there or not in the GitHub repository doesn't matter. I wanted to run, trigger the job, then we'll be go with this particular one. Okay. In case we can mention that specific time, but if there is no any changes, I don't want to trigger the Jenkins job. If there is any changes, then only I need to trigger the Jenkins job. Then we will go with poll ACM. This is the one of the most important in interview level. What is the major difference between poll ACM and build periodical and also webhook? Webhook we can discuss later sometime. Okay, fine. Any questions now? Now you can come here and this one. Delete workspace before build start. It means whatever Jenkins job, right? When you run that, during that time, as I said earlier, in this particular server, okay, Jenkins server, if you go to the varlib Jenkins, here we have a workspace. If you see here, here we have a workspace. Now I'm going to the workspace. Now what will happen? Whatever Jenkins job, example, sample iPhone project, right? When you select this one, what will happen? First, it will be delete this one. First, it will be delete this particular workspace, and then again it will be build it and it will be create the workspace again. Okay, clear, right? When you select this particular delete workspace before build start. Okay, if you want, you can do that one. Depends on use cases, we can do that. Remember, just it will be delete your workspace, not the job. Job, it will be available in the valid Jenkins jobs folder. Okay, fine. Now you can uncheck this one. We don't require. and then use secrets and test. If you want to define any GitHub username password or username password separated, you can select this one. This one will be used later. I will show you where exactly will be used this one. Okay, fine. And the next one, Maven integration. These are the Gradle related one. Sorry, JFrog related one. Later I can show you. Now you can come down and here build steps. This is the one of the most important. In the build steps only, whatever you want. Example, you want to integrate with the shell script or shell, or if you want to integrate with the Maven, you can do that one. If you see here, if you want to integrate the Sonar Cube, you can select this one. If you want to be integrated Windows related, PowerShell related commands, if you want to run it, you can select this one. Execute shell, if you want to do, you can do that. Invoke Ant and also Maven, artifact Maven 3 is JFrog, Gradle script, and top level Maven target is Maven only. Okay, now if you select this one, here it will ask that what is the goal, everything you can see it here. Okay, fine. Later I will show you. Just I'm going to explain what are the options we have. And here you can see that next is artifact uploader. Everything you can able to see it here. Okay, depends on our use cases. We always use this particular one. Any questions here? No, right? Fine. And the next one is post build actions. Once build step is completed, if you want to send any notification, then we'll be choose this particular post build action. Not only for sending the mail, and also once this particular job is completed, you wanted to build other jobs. Now you can select here, build other jobs. You can select if you want to be send any JUnit related info and email notification, everything. If you want to be delete workspace when build is completed, we can select this one. Usually these post build actions usually will be used for sending the notification. Majorly will be using. Okay, these are the options we have inside the Jenkins job. Again, just I'm recapping what we discussed. We discussed about general one and the description, what is the Jenkins job, and also here discard old bills parameterized one. And also I want to show you this here. We mentioned this project is parameterized, right? Here we mentioned that name and the value here I'm mentioning that main. And if you want to define this one in the GitHub repository level, okay, now you can come down in the Git level, right? Here usually we have hard coded. Okay, but same branch name we mention in the build with parameters. Then what you can do, you can give $open close, you can mention like this. Okay, we can mention like this. Okay, now you can save it. Now what will happen, whatever we mentioned build with the parameters, right, that particular name will be placed it here. It will clone the particular branch only. Okay, now you can apply, save it. Okay, now if you go here, this is the process setting up. And also if you remember, we set up build periodically every 5 minutes, right? That's why if you see here 12:15, 12:05 a.m. it was started automatically. Now you can click this one. Now if you click this one here, you can see it your when it was running. Okay, if you see here started by timer, it means it is automatically build with parameters. We have build periodically we have selected, right? That's why here it is showing the started by timer. And also in case if you run manually, right, you can also see it here. Let me go with okay, sorry, again another one is run it automatically 12:10. Okay, clear, right? Fine. Next one is in this particular Jenkins job, if you want to add any description, you can come here and you can add it. Example, this is for just explanation. Okay, fine, just save it. If you see here, here it will be display the particular job and also the particular description as well. Okay, next one. And here you can see the status changes. If you have any changes between previous and now, it will be displayed here. And workspace. Remember, in CLI level we are seeing, right? Same thing. If you want to see it in the GUI, you can select this one and you can see it here. Whatever, right? .git and readme file, everything cloned it. Remember, in the workspace, it will be displayed. It will be display like whatever this particular repository, right? It is clone that, and then it will be displayed here. Okay, and build with parameters. And here we can see that the branch name, and we mention the default value is main. In case if you want to change it, just remove this one and we can change it as well. Okay, and in case if you want to be configure the Jenkins job, modify the Jenkins job, now you can click the configure and then you can come here and you can modify it as well. Okay, fine. Now what is the next one? You can go here. And if you want to be delete the project, you can do that one. In case if you want to be rename the project, we can do that one as well. If you want to be example, you have created a wrong name. If you want to be change it, you can do as well. And in case temporarily, if you want to be disable the job, what you can do, go to the configure and then you can disable it as well. Okay, let me show you that one. If you see here you can select the disable one, apply, save it. When you disable this one, right, you can't see that build with parameter option. The reason, we have disabled the Jenkins job. This project is currently disabled. Once is enabled only, in the left side we can see it build with parameters. Example, you can enable now. Now if you see here, you can see the build with parameters. Some use cases, right? We may set up the Jenkins job, but temporarily we wanted to disable it. You can come here and we can disable the job level. Okay. Any questions now? I hope understand, right? How do we create the Jenkins job? What are the options we have inside the Jenkins job? Everything you understood, right? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about resetting the Jenkins admin user's password. Let's see the demos so that you will get some idea. So for that one, right, we have a Jenkins URL, jenkins.techworldwithmurali.in, and here it is asking the username and password. If you remember, during our setup, we gave that admin username is Murali, and then password is we mentioned, but I forgot the password. Now I'm trying to log in. It is throwing the error like invalid username and password. Now what you have to do, I need to set up the, I need to reset the password. How do we do? For that one, right, you can go to that, you can log into the Jenkins server. Example, in our case, we have installed the Jenkins in the EC2 instance, right? I already log into the server. Now you can go to the varlib Jenkins, okay? And then here you can go to the LL command, and here you can see that go up little bit. Here you can see that config.xml file. Now we can open this config.xml file, open this config.xml file, and then here we can see that use security true. Now what you have to do, we need to change from true to false. Okay. Now you can give it insert mode, and then you can come here, remove this true. From true to, you can mention that false. Okay. Now you can save this one. Okay, super. This part is clear. Once we made the changes in the particular config.xml file, now what you have to do, you need to restart the Jenkins to reflect the changes. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do here systemctl restart Jenkins. Okay. Now it will take little bit time. It will take around 30 seconds to restart our Jenkins. Once we done, right, we can verify whether Jenkins is up and running or not. Then we can verify it. We can reset the password. Okay. Now restart is completed. Now I'm checking here systemctl status Jenkins. Okay. Now if you see here, 12 seconds back, restarted, it is running fine as well. Okay. Super. Now what you have to do, now you can go here, go to the Jenkins. Now you can click this one, jenkins.techworldwithmurali.in. Now if you see here, it is not asking any login option. If you observe here, even you are not seeing in the right side, you are not seeing any login option as well. The reason, we have disabled that user security from true to false, right? That's why. Now what you have to do, now we need to reset the password. For that one, you can go to the manage Jenkins. Okay. And then here you can see that come down, and here we can see that security. Go to the security. Okay. And then inside the security, what you have to do here, if you see here, security relay, right? Here you have to select the Jenkins own user database. Earlier it was none, right? Now you have to select the Jenkins own user database. Now you can select apply, save it. Fine, super. Now once we done, right? Now here you can see that login option. Okay, once you enable that one, here you can see that login option. Now what you have to do, now you can go to the manage Jenkins again, go to the users. If you come down a little bit, go to the users. Okay. And then if you see here, this is our admin user. Now you can go here, select this one, and then go to that account. Is it account? No, wait 1 second. Go to the security. Okay. And then you can come down. here you need to change your password. Example, I'm changing the password as well. Okay, super. Now, once we change the password, now you can come here, apply, save it. Okay, our part is completed, right? What we did, we went to, we log into the AWS CLI, the particular AWS, Jenkins server, and we have modified inside the config.xml file from user security true to false, and then we have restarted, and then inside the manage Jenkins security, we have enabled that one, and then we have reset the password. Now what you have to do, now you can go to click the login option. Now here it is asking the username. Now what I'm giving the username and password. Now you can click sign in. Now here you are able to log in. Okay, clear, right? In case if you forgot the password, you can do that. Here you have to remember one thing. Interview level, they may ask question, hey, how do you reset the username, admin username password, user's password? You have to tell this process. Immediately they will ask, why do we require? Usually in the real time, we'll be use the Active Directory, right? Yes. In the real time, mostly 99% of the organization's projects will be use the Active Directory only. Okay. In case if they are not using Active Directory, in case if they forgotten that admin user password, then what you have to do, whatever I said, right? Same process only we have to be follow. Okay. Next thing, once we done reset completed, if you go and check it again in the particular config.xml file. Okay. Now again, it is back to user security is true only. Okay. After you done every changes, right? Once you reset the password, right? Now here you can see that user security is true to from false to true again. Okay. Understand, right? That's why if you log out, right? If you click the logout, and here, if you click the login, right? Again, here it is asking the username password. And here you may ask question, Murli. Here you may ask question, Murli, even if I'm not logging in, I'm able to see the Jenkins jobs, everything. But it is not like that, right? Yes. For that one, go to login, click here, login, username, password, click sign in. Okay. Now then go to manage Jenkins. Okay. And then come down little bit, go to the security. And then if you see here, authorization, right? What you have to do, you have to select login user can do anything. Okay, then only they can able to see it. Apply, save it. Okay. Now if you see here, just I'm log out. If you log out, right, it directly go to the login page only. It won't be display anything. Okay. Understand, right? This is the process of setting up user password change. Okay. That is admin level related one. Any questions now? This is also one of the most important in the real time. Not, in the real time also, if they are not using Active Directory LDAP, we will be use this process only. In case if you forgot, right, we need to be reset the password. Okay, clear, right? And interview level also, they may ask the question, this type of thing. Hey, is it possible to reset my admin password? Okay, admin user password of Jenkins. Yes, we can do that. You have to explain that whatever I have process showcase, right? You have to explain those things. But the reality, again, I'm repeating, right? Reality, we always go with the integration with the Active Directory only. We won't be create any users manually, everything. Okay, clear, right? Now we are going to discussing about installing and managing Jenkins plugins. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So for that one, right, we already having the Jenkins. This is our Jenkins. Now I can go here. Now we need to install the plugins. For that one, I'm taking a few of the plugins, whatever we required for in our entire 0 to Hero series. Okay, fine. And the first one is we need to install the Git plugin because we need to configure the Git. That's why. And also we need to configure that Maven. That's why we need to install the Maven integration plugin. For Nexus Artifact Uploader. For JFrog, Artifact plugin. And SonarQube Scanner plugin. Okay, we'll be install all these plugins. Let's see. For that one, you can go here, go to the Manage Jenkins. And then here you can come down. And here you can see that plugins. Click these plugins. Remember, when you are installing any plugins, please check first install plugins. The reason, right? Sometimes we already install plugins, or either you or your team member, That's why always recommended to select the install plugins. First, I'm checking Git. If you see here, Git related plugin already installed. You may ask question, Murli, we haven't installed, how it is came. If you remember, during Jenkins installation time, we selected a suggested plugins. That's why here automatically install. Okay. And then if we go with the Maven integration, currently we haven't installed. That's why it is showing that empty. And also Nexus artifact uploader, no. And also Artifactory, also no. Okay. And also Sonar Clip Scanner also not yet installed. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to available plugins and then I will be install those things. Okay. Now here you can type it Maven integration plugin and then here you can select this one. Okay. Now once you select this one, there are two options. One is install or install after restart. Depends on use cases. Usually when you install any plugins, you don't require to restart your Jenkins. Okay, 90% of the plugin, you don't require to restart plugin. Okay, that's why just what I'm saying, I'm selected this particular Maven. Similar to what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the Nexus artifact uploader as well. If you see here, Nexus artifact uploader, select this one. And also I'm selecting for JFrog as well, that is Artifactory. Okay. Remember, if you see here, this is the Artifactory. This is related for JFrog only. Okay. And also I'm going to select for, what is that? SonarQube scanner. If you select here, SonarQube scanner, now you can come here down and here you can see that SonarQube scanner, select this one. Okay. These are the four. Git is already installed. Remaining four, we are going to install it. Now what I'm going to do, just click the install one. Here you have to remember one thing. When you are installing any plugin, not only this one, any plugin, be careful. You have to be verified. Depends on your version, whatever is selected version, right? You have to verify whether that is compatible or not. Okay, even if it is a specific Jenkins version, if you are trying to install, it will be show like, hey, minimum Jenkins version, this one. Yeah, it will be display like that. Sometimes if it is not display also, you have to be verified the plugins is compatible with this particular version or not. Okay, understand it? Fine. Now installation completed. If you see here, the particular SonarQube Artifactory, everything we have installed. And when you install the Maven integration, the apart from this Maven, it is installed the other dependency plugins as well. Everything it is installed. Okay. If you want to be restart, you can select this one. You can restart. But as I said, we don't require to install any, restart any Jenkins when you install the plugins. Okay. Now what you can do, now you can go here, manage Jenkins, and then go to the tools. Okay. Go to the tools, and here if you can define your Maven related. If you see here, Maven related, and also you can define SonarQube scanner, and here we can see that Maven installation related, everything we can configure here. Okay. Any questions? Later part, when you integrate with Maven, I will show you how do we configure the Maven. Okay, when you integrate with Artifactory, how do we configure that Artifactory JFrog related URL and username, password, authentication related, everything I will show you later part. Okay. Any questions now? I hope understand, right? How do we install the plugins, necessary plugins? Not only this one, depends on use cases. We'll be install the specific plugin and we can configure those things. Okay, fine. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, Instagram, Telegram, and also we have a Tech World with Murali website. In this website, I already publish all the DevOps related courses. If you're planning to enroll the course, you can come here and you can enroll it. Okay, and also we have a Tech World with Murali, this one YouTube channel. You can come here and you can subscribe the channel so that you will get more updates. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next video.